Hello everyone, welcome back to the Blast R6 Manchester Major. This is the A stream, but on B stream we had Furia going up against Scars. I have certain expectations of how this went, but I could be wrong, so let's check in with our casters on the B stream to give us a little bit of a rundown of what exactly went down.
By the way, it's been about a year since I worked with Ginny, so always nice to have another very short person on the broadcast. Speaking of, Carter, what a game we just had. It was really close at the start. Scars gave it all that they had. As soon as it switched into the second half, it was all Furia all day long.
That was my biggest issue with that matchup, was we were hyping it up. We're like, oh my god, Scars are going 3-3 against the world champs, their attacking side on one of Furia's best maps. This is gonna be close. Oh, they're sitting inside of the side, not doing anything. Oh, they're roaming and not getting aggressive and taking gunfights against Furia, not utilizing their star players. It was a very anticlimactic second half, unfortunately. And Furia taking the expected dub, but there was such a better game in there from Scars.
Yeah, I mean, there was a solid game, and we also got to see some cool stuff out of Furia. We got to see Herds really firing up some big games. Philippox had a stunning one as well.
KZ popping off too.
Yeah, and they just looked happy. They looked good. They looked fired up. But they went down 0-2, almost 0-3, and Igor just got around him and whipped him back into shape. The team stepped up, potentially looking like tournament favorites now that BDS and FaZe are down in the lower bracket, in, if you want to call it that, in this Swiss phase. I feel like Furia, who in my brain I still want to call them W7M.
It's hard.
They are feeling like the best team in the tournament so far.
Yeah. And especially after that loss FaZe suffered earlier, Secret also beating Dark Zero 7-5 on the A stream as well. So that FaZe game, not just a fluke, Secret doing it against two opponents all in the same day. I mean, it's hard not to call Fury tournament favorites at this point. With FaZe and BDS both 0-1, potentially one of them could be 0-2 by the end of the night if, say, against Liquid, Nesk has a pop-off game and Maya pops off. FaZe could very well find themselves down 0-2. We'll see what happens, though. Fury is certainly up there right now. Secret 2-0, and right now, the game we have coming up, of course, ITB and Bleed also fighting for a 2-0 spot.
That is true. We, of course, have ITB Bleed on the B stream, but if you guys are sticking on the A stream, stick around as the desk will break that one down, and we'll get into that just now. If you are staying on the B stream, of course, we've got Bleed. These guys have made a huge statement at previous events, but coming into this event, they have a big team to go up against. Into the Breach, of course, one of the European teams that everyone is talking about in the absence.
In my opinion, it's Hugo, our coach, because like he works better at like midnight or 1 a.m. So yeah, in my opinion, it is Hugo.
Yeah, I agree with Hugo. He spent the night like seeing VODs and studying our adversários. E that's it. Adversários, falei em português.
Our enemies.
I said in Portuguese because...
Adversários. At least it's funny, but okay. No, yeah, that's good, that's good.
And who's the biggest tourist on your team? Who likes to see the sights?
So in my opinion, it's Maya, our new player on the team. Like, he went through all the restaurants, at least the restaurants that has some hamburgers, so he loves. So yeah, Maya.
Yeah, Maya likes to go to the street and have some walking, so yeah, that's it.
And who collects the most souvenirs when you guys travel?
Nossa, difícil.
Eu diria você.
Eu?
In my opinion, it's resets. Like, he always buy a souvenir for his family or for his own. So yeah, in my opinion, it's resets.
Yeah, probably because every time I go to a new country, I always bring some souvenirs for my family. Yeah, that's it.
All right. And then looking at sports, who's the biggest sports fan?
Sports fan?
I'm pretty sure it's me. Before I turned a pro player, a professional esports player, my dream was to become a tennis player, but I got injured. Because of that, I started playing video games. So yeah, I think it's me.
Yeah, Lagones, he plays like every sport in the world, so yeah, that's it.
And who has the best aim on Team Liquid right now?
In my opinion, it's Maya. He has the best aim. Like, he knows where to, how to win rounds, like solo maybe. So yeah, in my opinion, Maya has the best aim right now.
For me, it's Nesk because like he the GOAT of the game, so. Are a little bit old, but still the GOAT.
Nice.
Speaking of being old, who's the wisest on your team?
We don't know what is.
Wise is like being you know, like Gandalf the Grey is wise and a wizard, you know, very...
Essa responde.
Eu não sei quem que é o mais sábio.
Vai dar sua interpretação.
It's a hard one.
Eu vou falar o mesmo. You are talking about like inside the server or like at all?
Just everywhere.
So in my opinion, like inside the game, I think I'm a little bit smarter because I am the IGL, so I need to study more the game. But outside the game, I think Rosette is very good. Like he knows a lot of things about history and these things. So it's very nice to have a chat with Rosette about history. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I am very like in the school. Was very great. So yeah, probably me outside the game.
All right. And who is the calmest person in the team? Just outside the game, even.
Mais engraçado, né?
No, calmest.
Calmo.
Mais calmo.
Okay.
For me, I think it's Lagonis. Like he's a very chill boy. So yeah, I think it's him.
Yeah, I think it's me. Like I'm a little anxious before the matches, but at all, like in the day by day, I am very calm. So yeah, I think it's me.
And who has the weirdest hobby?
Hobby mais esquisito.
I don't know if like one of the players has the weirdest lobby, but in Brazil we love go-karting, so we drive a lot. Me, Reset, Nesk, Maya. So it's not that weird, but we love doing this in Brazil. So we spend a lot of time on this. Like after the practice at night, we love going for drive a little bit of kart.
For me, it's Nesk. When he was younger, he likes to dance like freestyle, and for me, it's very weird. So yeah.
Well, that concludes that.
Okay.
He dances?
Yeah, very good.
Like, yeah.
Welcome back to the Blast R6 Manchester Major. I'm Ginny, joined once again with Lal, Alphama, and Laxton. So we're gonna... No, don't...
Skip me. What the? I went to you first? Now we're just playing favorite.
Why are you so pressed? Okay, I was gonna say we're reporting here for analytical duty because we need to break down Bliss going up against M80. Because when we're looking at M80 particularly, this is a team that internationally, up until now-ish, hasn't really found any success.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm trying to be nice.
No, literally. I mean, don't be nice because... And you don't have to be nice because this isn't the same team. The only two players that have been the same have been Kino and Spoyd. Obviously, Kino coming back. But this is a team that throughout the NAL, they look great. Obviously, this is a new iteration of this team. But now that they're actually here at the event, this is where I want to see the success come in, especially from the IGL of Cameraman that has years and years of experience, and which is why I can see them finding success going into this major.
Yeah, I think they rebuilt the team the right way. The three new players are all, fitting in different roles. I think just in general, they come from such different backgrounds, different game visions. The clash of playstyle must have been really hard at the beginning to really define their identity. I think they're still looking for that identity, and this major is basically here to cement that.
Yeah, exactly. And this is that trial by fire in terms of like being on that international stage and having a chance to prove yourself. But then we're looking at Bliss. And this is literally a team that you cannot think of an international event, and Bliss is not there.
It's true. Bliss is a team that is slowly but surely making a name for themselves. And as we've talked about APEC teams throughout many years, it's about the reps. And Bliss is constantly coming in, getting more and more reps, looking more and more stable as a team. And I think this is another event that we can see them kind of push a little bit further. But still, I'm not convinced enough that we're going to see that going into a possible phase 3 of a main stage. If they do, great. That's awesome. But I still think that it comes with more time and more reps, that they need more international experience.
Yeah, it's always the weird thing thing with them is actually you take a look at the stage. They look super dominant, but it's still OCE, so you never know what to expect at an international level. But on the other side, I just love how it's a complete different take on Siege. It's literally 5 players that play as a single unit, and they're sending a really strong message, I think, to all fans or viewers watching this. As a group of friends, if you grind Siege, if you play it the right way, if you have the right synergy, it can get you really, really far in top international tournaments. Because their players, they're not as shiny as M80, but they have the power to beat them still.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, it's not just down to these individual players and them showing up and that power of friendship, as you'd like to call it. It's also down to the map that we're going to be going to. Every single map plays to different strengths of different teams, and this time around, going to Bank once again seems to be what we're sticking with for the rest of the day. This is where we're going to be starting, and this is where, once again, the BO1 will take place. So you have one shot of making it work.
So this is an interesting map for me. Both teams, I would say this is a little 50-50, maybe a little more heavy-sided, more towards M80, but specifically talking about Bliss here, when you look at it, they do have an extensive history of playing Bank, but in terms of the quality that they played against of getting those wins, to me, it's not really a good serving size that M80 has up against teams like SSG, winning with one of their favorite maps. So for me, it's going to be coming down to a situation of these initial gunfights and who's going to be walking away from those initial engagements, of who's really going to be walking away with these rounds.
Yeah, and with that, we're ready to head into the second game of the second half of today. That's going to be Bliss going up against M80 for a chance to both go 2-0. Let's head over to our casters, Intaro and Pengu.
Why was there hesitation?
And
did you think that it would be somebody else right here?
And who else is that guy? You know, how...
These guys!
You know, when Jeannie and I first met, she had no idea who I was. Even when I said Pinko, I was like, that's usually not how people react. They're like, oh, I know you from somewhere. You know, you maybe played a tournament or whatever, you want something. No, she had no idea. She was, who?
Hold on, let me react like most people when I see you. Oh my God, are you Pengu? Oh my God,
Taro?
Such a big
I love your cast for SI, and then other final, you've cast like every final ever.
Oh my God.
You're my biggest model.
You're so good, Pengu. I'm so nervous, I'm shaking.
That's when I met you for the first time. I was like, oh my God. It's a terrible.
Not even close to true.
It's not, no.
We met each other in Sao Paulo for the first time. And Penta did not like me.
What do you mean we didn't like
Penta did
you?
not like me because I was rooting on your downfall. Remember, I put on...
Yeah, okay, fair.
You were playing Black Dragons, and I put on all of the Black Dragons merch and appeared on stage.
I respect.
And then when you lost, I walked over to Fabian, and he's like, let the Brazilians have their fantasy.
Let them have it.
And then they didn't end up winning anyway because Ends ended up winning. So it's not like Brazil did particularly well. But
we love a good
you
thing.
lost and you got humbled. That's all that matters because you bounced back and won SI very next. We're going to Bank. We were just on Bank. If you were here for the DZ versus Secret matchup, well, there's a specific highlight I would encourage you to go back and watch because one of the players on the team did an excellent job in one round. I'm not going to say anything more than that.
He's underselling it so badly.
It is one of the best moments I have personally ever cast.
And I agree with you. But you still undersold it pretty hard. You gotta go back and watch it though, I agree with that.
You must.
Yeah, you must. You have.
Simply must. Bliss, victorious in their matchup earlier today, defeating a Brazilian team of E1.
Yep.
E1 making their debut here at an international event.
And M80 did the same thing, also victorious over a different Brazilian team of Team Liquid. So both teams with the same kind of path to, you know, this 1-0 scoreline, now facing up against each other. Bliss, of course, did it on Night Haven Labs, whereas now we're playing Banks, a very different map. But Bliss, I think they're the team that I want to focus on a little bit more because they are the less known team with the smaller players, if you want to say it like that. But Bliss have had more international success than M80 despite that the last, 2 years.
Incredible. A player who usually is not at the top of the standings. Finished as top frag in the previous matchup.
Attackers are heading out to defuse a bomb.
And what is this? What is that backwards mirror setup? Sorry, can we get an overhead view for a second? Spin around.
Spin around. There it is.
Immediately placed and ejected. Don't see that on and off.
Okay, so it's put on the inside of server because it's harder to put an exothermic charge or any heart breach on that side of the mirror window. You can then C4 into the slit if somebody was to thermite breaching charge it or exothermic charge it or can opener it. But we know that there is no such operator. Yeah, they got can openers, but there's no ace, no hibana, no thermite, so there might actually be some difficulties getting down that default plant position because of that mirror window placement from Bliss, rather. But M80, they have other options. They can go Monty into server, plant behind the Monty, he provides the cover. They can go, as you see here, main stairs, lobby hatches, and just seek out those engagements. The big thing here for M80, they have so much time to work with, still 2 minutes left, they have full roam clear, they can basically hit the bomb site whenever they want to. The only thing missing is cameraman on Maverick duty. There he is. He's gonna open up that kite clawed hatch. That's gonna take about 20 seconds or so. And then M80 gotta choose for a front or a backside execute. But the C4 injures cameraman in the process. Things are not going according to plan. Almost. Wait, what? Okay.
It wasn't that long ago that it was cameraman on FaZe Clan and playing the same Maverick operator, and we had some criticisms, some light criticisms about how he would do with those Maverick hatches. It's good to see that old habits don't die hard. Oh God, Nick, Kino's on Monty.
Don't go there. Listen, he was meditating before this matchup. Some of that sport, I think, taught him there. Just like relax, meditate, reset yourself, go into the game with full focus, okay? He is wired in, locked in on the Monty. I believe in him. Until he proves me wrong.
And then you're going to become his biggest hater.
Yes, exactly that.
I will say I do appreciate the level of hate that you aspire to. What is it with the TCSG in this part of the map? Goodbye, cameraman. First kill goes to Wettable. Spoit capitalizing off of that. I don't know if Sage knew how close Spoit was. Down goes Kina to Oda. Brendo will die to Spoit as well, who now pulls out the shotgun. Might as well use that secondary. And Oda, another spraying through the wall. Down goes Spoit. Noodle to follow up. Citizen kills Fisho Guy, but it's Wettables and Oda to collect, and Wettables yet again off to a good start. 2 kills in the first round.
Oh yeah, he was on fire in the earlier match against E1, but I gotta say from the side of M80, it was Spoit going in really aggressively, very deep in towards the bomb side, but no real follow-up. We also didn't really see what the plan was with the Monty in the round. Nothing really happened with the operator pick, but this is round number 1. It's a lot about feeling out your opponent, the pace they're setting, what kind of playstyle they're opting to go for, because normally when we see Bank being played out, defenders will roam on that basement bomb side and get out across the map. Bliss very comfortably said, we don't care about the roam. They had that C4 below to the cameraman and is locked down the bomb side now. Oda finding 3 kills, somehow not getting shot down by Sport by that shotgun through the wall, and just shutting down the entire push almost single-handedly. Great start for Bliss to also build some confidence here, saying, hey, we can swing with the guns of M80 because there are some big names in that roster, right? Somebody like Cameraman, Sport, Citizen, you know, very big names in terms of stardom, fan following base, etc. You can get a little bit, oh, what about this, boys? Are we good enough? Well, Bliss, you are, okay? This first round proves that, and your previous performances, of course, as well.
New camera feed up and running.
3 kills for Oda, 2 kills for Wettable in the previous round. These are not the players that we expect to be at the top of the standings. Sage and Brendo tend to do most of that work. Brendo in particular, but maybe they've swapped up roles. Maybe they swap up how they play. Sage had a relatively rough first matchup, despite the fact that Bliss beat E1. Oh my. Wettable's fighting ghosts outside. Noodle, well, narrowly surviving that explosion.
Feels like a ranked match when like your opponent knows a little bit too much there. Like, who's he shooting at? Because I'm not even over there. Like, what does he know that I don't? But I like this in Bliss. A very passive first round, applying no pressure on the map. Second round, that aggressive swing out from Wettables. Just saying, guys, stay on your toes. Spot with a nice injury again. In the bomb site all of a sudden. Somebody help this man, please. He's in the sight, in a goo mine.
And he's dead. Kino and Noodle, now cameraman as well. It seems like everybody wants in on the action. Advantage right now, still very much favoring this M80 team, but Fisho Guy has something to say about that. Wettables hears the boogies from above. Noodle not too far removed, but
right behind him.
The Vigil has gone unspotted. Down goes Noodle, who's playing around on that balcony, and now it's all up to Citizen. Citizen is not usually in a position where He's alongside the team. He does play that lurk role. He's got a great aim and will now wander in towards square stairs. The one thing I noted about Bliss in their matchup against E1 was their patience.
Yeah.
This is a team that plays like a veteran group, and I mean, the core of the team's been around since 2022. It's been a while since they've been all playing together. Wettables is the most recent addition. Boy, oh boy, has he looked good so far today. Citizen has plenty of time, though, Nick, to find these last two players. 5 kills combined on these two players for Bliss. Citizen with 1 so far.
Gotta try to isolate, find those 1v1s, and then just win that final gunfight. Has one smoke in pocket, so he can deny one out of sight, work the other, and Citizen with great game sense here can maybe get it done.
Maybe isolate one of these players that's playing in back of open area. Citizen's just taking a stab in the dark at the moment. Moved up to the bomb chassis, and it's Wettables. 4 kills already through 2 rounds for Wettables. This is a career day for him.
The discipline, I mean, you said it during that round, they look like a team of veterans. And, I mean, 2022, it is a fair bit of time away, but in Siege terms, that's, you know, only 2 years and a 9-year lifespan game, basically, of competitive play, so it really isn't all that much, but they're playing like they know what they're doing, what they want to be doing, and very importantly, in this round in particular, they're down in numbers, and instead of panically running on the map, looking for kills in desperation, they are doing it in a calculated way. The vigil flank upstairs, very slow, very patient, finds a pick. The player on the side, Fisher guy, just playing keep away in the corner, waiting for a sound cue or visual, then goes to the swing. They are not taking unnecessary risks even when they're behind. They're playing a calculated, patient game of Siege in a meta that usually is very chaotic. It's almost like they see the game like slow down in slow motion where they have more time to figure out what they want to do and do it with confidence. And I love that about Bliss. And we always talk about the biggest the difficulty or downside of being a team from APAC is you have pretty poor scrims. You cannot go over and scrim Brazilian, North American, European teams are really solid practice. You're playing other APAC teams on like 150 plus ping. So the fact that you can go here early in the major and just play so well, I mean, they must have really good routines and this discipline within the team of what they have to do each and every single day.
It's worth repeating, as we said in their first matchup of the day, that this was a team that finished 7th and 8th at SI. Now, SI is unique in the sense that when we do get to the main stage on Friday, because of the lower bracket and the sheer volume of teams, it's only the top 6 that get to play in front of a crowd. But in any other major, the top 8 teams are the ones that are going to play in front of a crowd. And that means Bliss would have played in front of a live audience in Brazil under other circumstances. Well, they have the same fortune here. Both of these teams won their earlier matchups, so if Bliss is successful, they are a single win away from qualifying for playoffs.
I don't want to say that a team deserves anything, because I don't believe that you can deserve something. You achieve it, you accomplish it, you get there. But I would love to see it happen for them. They had so many close results in the past, losing it over time against SSG, against Wolves, where they could have made it even further if a single run or two went the other way. Right now, as you said, it's a great start for them. M80, much slower this time around. They have utility to work with. The Bees from Spoit, the Grim, followed by the Fire of Cameraman Capital, can isolate and take down 1 or 2 members of defense or set up a potential pick on that Windows side rappel. So here it's gonna come, they're gonna get that final drone in, verify the information, get the Bees out, Fire follows through, and try and get that early man advantage.
Tons of Bees. It doesn't look like any of them are actually hitting Wettables. He just misses out on an opportunity. Spoit and Citizen starting things off, but Sage and Brendo able to keep numbers close.
Sell them out.
Now it's Noodle to try to open up some of that wall into Janitor. Down goes Brendo at the hands of Kino. Good supporting cast at the moment. Sage punishing Spoit for that with the TCSG in hand. What a day for the TCSG fans.
Attackers are active.
Diffuser goes down and Kino suffers some damage. You know his positioning, you know his location. The question is, where does Noodle happen to be? He's over by that diffuser, and now Sage will have to read into this. Will a rotate come out? That information as to where the player was only relevant for a short period of time, and Noodle does the job himself. First round victory for M80, and they prevent A 3-0 start for Bliss.
It's the same thing that we saw from Darks here just like a match ago, where when you let these North American teams set up in the 5 versus 5, they very much thrive. So when Bliss, they apply that early pressure on their own game, slows down M80, stops them from doing their plan number A, or the first plan rather, plan number 1. And same thing on that basement defense. They either get an injure or a kill, or they disrupt them in one way or another. On that CO defense, they were in 5 different corners, either behind shields or utility, waiting for something to happen without applying any pressure whatsoever, and the outcome, Bees go out, rappel in the bomb side, and pick up those kills. And while Bliss did find the equalization of getting a 2-for-2 trade down to 3 versus 3, it's ultimately not enough. 2 defenders flanking front lobby side, left the bomb side very exposed. M80 took it deep, planted, versus story.
Exact same setup now on this single panel as you talked about. It's hard to approach a wall that's already been shot open. You'll see from time to time teams will leave it unreinforced.
Yeah.
I think you were actually one of the first teams to do that way back in the day, where you would shoot small holes, like random holes all over the place, because it made it very challenging to put that exothermic charge down.
Yeah, you could do it in a way so that you in fact could not put down exothermic charge whatsoever by shotgunning holes in a specific way, so there's not enough surface area to put it down on, but also holes small enough that no one could enter. It was very old school style siege where like that doesn't work today. You have like secondary shotguns, a lot of attackers and whatever else, you know. But back then it worked. Now more advanced. You got the Goyer canisters, the mirror windows. You can play a clash to like make it weird to enter certain parts of the building, etc. But again, the one downside right now for Bliss, I think, in this particular instance, is that they've already shown this exact strat in the opening round, where, yes, Bliss, they were successful, but mostly due to sheer gun skill. Strategically, I wouldn't say M80 didn't know what to do against it. They had the Maverick, they had the Monty, and I feel like this strat works once, unless your opponent sucks at adapting. Cameraman's experience as an in-game leader for this squad, I don't think they're that kind of team. I feel like they're going to have a different answer and a different approach, and very likely will have a different outcome because of it, like Noodle flanking server could get a freebie, small adaptations with massive improvement in the round.
Well, Winnable's costing on that particular engagement. Opening things up for Noodle, a player who tends to sit towards the bottom of the scoreboard for M80. So the fact that he's already off to a 4-2 start is very good.
Uh-oh.
Official guys in some serious troubles. The Monty. Kino gets ever close to the start of blue. Official guy will have this information.
Yeah.
Toying with the door for now.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? How? Kino's a Monty Parker. That's not supposed to happen, by the way. Fisher guy should have been dead. He's all alone. His link in the middle was shot down earlier by Wettables. Surely in the 2 only falls.
Fisher guy looked to do some damage to Noodle, but completely whiffs on that one. Yes, he used all of his mojo on taking out Kino, but even just killing the Montaigne is a huge value for Bliss.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big W right there. Yeah, they use a smoke, but you have 2 C4s planted, but the gunfights, again, just not hitting their marks. Looking with another one in the round, shutting down the long left side to Garage of Wettables. Or of Sage, actually.
It's fine.
It's okay. I was thinking long left side, ACOG, right? No. It's a holoscope.
Deimos has so much value now. There's only 2 of these operators remaining. Brendo has information. Cameraman removed by Oda. Now Noodle taking quite a bit of damage. He knew it was coming. Oda holding down the fort. Good coverage by Citizen. Noodle trusted him completely, and his trust was put into good hands. Despite the issue with Kino on the stairs, M80 perseveres in this round, and they tie the game.
I really don't think that this is a team of M80 where you go the same exact defense back-to-back, again, unless something crazy happened. And it didn't happen last time. Similar result here, but M80 actually conquered the round this time around. It is close, it's a 2v1, but still, a win is a win. And again, Noodle with the flank, calling off that middle lane, supporting Fisher guy on the server stairs. And if Kino doesn't die in Monty, that round is, I believe, very one-sided in favor of M80, of course. So, this is also what speaks to experience and practice back home domestically. You need to have different strats and different approaches to every single bomb so to change things up and not keep it the same. If Bliss go on their second bomb set rotation of basement, open air, and CEO, the exact same similar setup, it's not gonna go well here. Highest level of play doesn't work out. You gotta have different approach. Right now, it's just the more aggressive stuff like the Capcan, the Lesion, the Vigil, the Valkyrie. Bliss, they want to take fights right now. M80, they see that. They change from Maverick to Lion, for example, to slow things down, lock them in place when they need to. And of course, the Brava is always straight on bank to hack the default cameras, the Val cams. Even Capcan traps could be somewhat valuable here for defending Romo to run back into them, for example.
Very dangerous position to be in for Fish Show Guy. Noodle very quickly taking up control of Blue and trying to put both of them down and having some difficulties. There you go. Why do you put the other Claymore behind the first one, Nick?
Because if you shoot the first one and you don't shoot the second one, you die the second one.
It's because the lasers from the second one as well are blocked by the first.
Yeah.
So you don't see the lasers from the second. You simply see the first, you shoot it, and then you blow up.
Yeah. Is it gonna work? I'm not entirely sure, but
common practice when you run into a Claymore is to fly several feet away and scatter yourself across a wide variety of locations. And here's an early assault now with 2 minutes still left in the round. Kino looking for an opening. I don't know what he doesn't like about this position in electrical. Looked like M80's advance would be quite direct, but no. We'll go back to the drawing board.
Did he miss the jammer or what happened? I mean, they EMP'd the wall, Selmas went out, and then the wall didn't open up. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I might have been shot by Odex and Capcan. He said like, archives next to it, so this is the thing. Gotta roam clear first, then breach the wall. Now they're roam clearing, but the wall got denied. Now they're looking for Brendo upstairs with Weatables as well for backup.
Brendo's got some sounds going.
Oh, the timing.
Weatables sees the Monty. Here's Brendo to the rescue. Kino taking a bunch of damage. Brendo shut down as it's a full court press from an 80 above. Weatables didn't really have anywhere to go. The Monty breathing down his neck. Weatables started off 4-0. He's gone 0-3 since. The magic might have run out a little bit. M80 with an advantage, but it's not huge.
Yeah, Kino is very killable now by an impact grenade, but there are none. But in a Capcan trap, all that last C4 from Sage could do the trick. So planting is not going to be as simple as it usually would be, unless Kino drops down the diffuser and lets somebody else do the job. But then you have one less gun to work with. No real big win here from 80, but countdown, 3, 2, 1, hit the side together. Bliss with only 3 players against 4 cannot cover every single entry point to the bomb side.
Citizen scoping out as much as he can find. Now smoke will go off, maybe to aid. There's a distraction. Nade now goes down to follow up. Kino lost to Oda. You said he was very killable. Citizen trades him off immediately. 3v2 right now, favoring M80. And they will storm on in. Noodle taking no prisoners. By far and away the best player for M80 to this point. And with him, you don't win these rounds. M80 take 3 in a row. It's a hot start for Bliss, but they're starting to falter.
Yeah, I think Bliss there, they might have just relied a little bit too much on the Capcan traps, on the double door kitchen, because nobody was watching that. And you know, when it's 4 versus 3, with attackers being favorite numbers, they will try and attack from as many different areas as possible, because that's what you have to do in numbers advantage. 4 people dropping the same hatch, you're just gonna become a meat grinder. So you go 1 guy door, 1 guy hatch, 1 guy side window, spread across the area, and they had 2 Capcan traps, which would injure or kill a player entering that door, but they were shut out. It was seen and denied by M80, and the flank happens, and now they didn't fight both directions at once. This is experience M80 showing here. They can figure out the problems, show it to them once, they know it the second time around. They'll be okay. Last round in the first half for M80's attacks here. Bombsite will be downstairs once more, but there is this time a change-up. Bit of a roaming presence from Bliss, finally getting active, but now look at M80's lineup. They bring out the Osa, as well as the Monty, and a real Heartbreacher off Hibana. This could be a semi-direct server attack, where you just go server, you hold the flank, you breach the wall, you plant, or you can put, for example, the Osa Talon Shield inside of Garage and get that long line of sight towards the bomb side. M80, they don't have to go for the same exact take as before, where they full clear. They can if they want to, but they're not locked into that decision because that flexible operator lineup.
Activating override.
Well, Bliss have kept their timeout in back pocket, so if things continue to sour for them in this second half, they'll be in good position to call that timeout and maybe settle things down. There's a lot that goes into why coaches call timeouts when they do, Nick.
Yeah.
Do you want to call it right now and use it on your very final defense and then maybe get in a couple words about attack, or do you see how an attack looks and then call your timeout?
Yeah, I mean, when it's close like this, 2-3, 4-3, 3-3, whatever, you just kind of sit on it. Unless there's like a massive mistake happening or you hear the player comments are falling apart, you just kind of wait it out. You need more input to work with. Attacks for Bliss will define this outcome. Same for M80 on defense. That second half, of course. M80, we're going to see their plan come into life now. They take Garrett's completely for free.
That giant suppressor on the end of the TCSG of Goyo spotted by Noodle gives away the position of Sage. Now Noodle will set up shop, trying to counter an Osa behind her talent shield. On LAN is impossible. On your screen, the Osa won't even have stood up, and you're already going to be dead. Cameraman is found away, by the way, into the bomb site. Kino and the Monty dies to the toxic gas, a Fisho guy. Cameraman wants a follow-up. He's managed to isolate one of these players over towards Locker, but some trepidation about getting into the nitty-gritty. Sage trades this one right back. He knows. It's Noodle still playing somewhere over towards Garage, but where? Osa's not exactly a quiet operator. You have to ensure you hear her coming. Noodle can just sit up shop here, though. Greater issue is that while he's doing that, it's all up to Spoit and Citizen in the 2v3. Both very talented players. But at some point, Noodle will very likely need to get into the action. Citizen juggling diffuser now, he picks it up. Flashes to go off, and very, very vulnerable towards red, but you have to have somebody watch that. Down goes Noodle as he gets compelled into action by Sage. Spoit taking out Wettables. A 2v2, diffuser running against M80. They're looking for the 4-2 first half. They're only 35 seconds away from it, Nick. Brendo retaking from above, he's got information and will now run somewhere else. He doesn't seem to think that Citizen will swing. Sage has to do the rest of the work himself. Good luck trying to outpeak Citizen and Spoit together. Forget about it. M80 win 4 in a row and they take the first half.
4 in a row, yeah, and a little bit messy there from M80 because I think they actually had a massive flaw in their attack. They take Garrett's control for the sake of locking down, like cutting the bomb set in half basically from Garage, but then Cameraman is sprinting around the entire middle where they have the control. He gets flanked, he dies, etc. The bomb doesn't go down, he dies to a toxic bait. It's very messy, and I gotta say, Bliss actually looked like they didn't know what was really going on. They still had the roam control open area. They knew they couldn't plant on the default plant position because the hatch was opened up. Defenders can see it from open area hatch, so they can't plant there, but yet they still got caught off guard by surprise where the plant was indeed going down. So bit of a misread there, miscommunication, maybe lack of information. Just like Bliss let M80 take Garage control for absolutely free, which should never really happen as early in the round as it did there. Just kind of giving up the map control for no reason in particular. M80, 4-2 half after a first slow 2 rounds where they struggled and lost both of those. Now Bliss gotta show us that they know what they can do on the attacking side, and they're picking Fuse in the very first round to do so. Fuse with a shield, actually. So, if you want Heartbreach Canister and a shield operator, you can play the Monty. If you don't want the Heartbreach Canister, then you can play the Blitz. Wettables, despite those options, win for the Fuse. They're cooking something up. Don't know what it is. Could just be to clear out the Goyo canisters from the hatch if you roam clear. Could be on the default wall before you breach it open. Clear out utility.
It's also worth noting that the shield could potentially be a mistake.
It's possible.
I overheard a team earlier today, a team that we did not cap.
Oh, really?
Say, and I quote, I didn't know I was running a shotgun on them, but we were dicking around in scrims and I forgot to change it.
Oh, no.
It does happen.
No, it's true. It does happen.
You have to go through and be meticulous with your setups on all of your operators and maybe decide, you know, as we saw actually from M80, Spoit using the shotgun on Deimos. That is not common. But if you do that for 1 round, you best make sure you're changing it back to the AK the next time you use that operator. Sometimes people can forget.
That's fair.
You've got 6 seconds left to pick your operator. Okay, I'll go Deimos. I'll go Deimos. Oh, rats. I forgot to change my gun.
I mean, to be fair, for Bank of all maps, you got that staircase where shotguns can be really powerful, but you're right. Sometimes you're like, I gotta make, you know, the best out of the situation because there's no redos, really. You're locked into it for this round at least. Bliss, relatively slow on their own clear, but it's okay because when they get to open area, the area is clear. There we go. That was my theory here. Use the fuse charges, the cluster charges on the hatch, on the wall and server, and it should clear out the Vulcan shields, or canisters rather. There's one. Let's take one further in. Is this the most optimal way to do it? Maybe not, but I think there's a second line to it. So you play the fuse, you do this, you clear the utility from above. Then you take server control, fuse can plant with the shield on the back, you don't die to Spoil's angle from garage, so you get the plant position and utility from
Now, those were 3 cluster charges used by Wetables, and it certainly only looked like he got one Goyo canister.
Yeah, not the best value.
Very little utility cleared out beyond that, so yeah, not great value there.
Could have played Twitch, for example, but I mean, there's a risk the drone doesn't get in. This is possible, but now you gotta deal with Kino with 35 seconds left. If he does not get cleared out, you cannot attack the A bomb site or take server control whatsoever.
Bliss really falling behind on time as now Kino looks for an opportunity. Walking up but losing his duel to Brendo. Kino not having much luck on those blue stairs. M80 had drawn first blood though, as they got rid of the remainder of Wetables. Now 0-5 since round number 2.
15 seconds left.
Oda almost getting siege timing, but he's got to go at some point. Backing up over towards Spoit, a good team effort. Guns must start hitting their marks because you're about to lose the round. Fisho Guy getting diffuser down. Only Brendo is looking for coverage. Fisho Guy attempting to bail out. Cameraman dropped. The round looked all but lost for Bliss, and yet they've swung it around. Question becomes, how formidable are M80 on this post plant? Brendo holding angle. Down goes Noodle. The Claymore taking out Cameraman. Citizen swings over towards Blue. It's all up to Fisho Guy. He got the diffuser down in the first place. Is Citizen safe? That's the question. He pulls off in a beautiful shot from Fisho Guy as he hits the drive-by. Look, the flick and immediately pulls off. That round was not Bliss's until it was. And they managed to save themselves with but a second left on the clock. Excellently done by the Aussies.
Way too close of a call there, but also a gap was found by Blaze on the main staircase. Oda just kind of snuck down at some point, crouch walking, and found Spoit inside of garage for absolutely free right here. Spotting, I got the bombs unlocked, right? Finds that first initial kill. Later on, got flanked by Oda. So one of those very small gaps, and there's a Claymore right there on the staircase. Beautiful shot by Fisher Guy. Small things on Bank will often define the outcome of the round because that basement bombs in particular is such a rinse and repeat site for every single team in every single region. To boil it down very simply, you attack the front, server, A bomb site, on the back, lobby hatch, main staircase garage, and the B bomb site. That's like the very simplified, dumbed down version, so there's 2 options. Now, there are a bunch of small different things you can do, different operators, take garage control, don't take garage control, plant default, plant deep, etc. But, again, it comes down to those teeny tiny, small things in the round. Getting down the main staircase and getting a free kill in garage, that is a small thing that can win you a single round. So Bliss, they start good on the attack and side, but they gotta keep up the winning streak because there's still a single round behind M80 to tie things up. And they're gonna, of course, just change the bomb site. Why wouldn't you? Go upstairs. CEO plays out very differently. It's more utility-oriented in terms of like the mirror windows, the castle barricades. You need soft destruction. You have those long lines of sight from the rappels outside of the building as well. So defenders often stuck in corners. You need intel to work with. That's why we see the Echo in play. You can make some practical decisions here. Oh, guys, nobody's on lobby rappel. Play aggressive in lobby. Or, oh, guys, nobody's taking stock control. We take stock. For now, it's Bliss, breaching the walls, joining out the building, the usual.
Just looking at an attacker-sided Bank, that's all it is, Nick, isn't it?
Yeah. It often is, to be fair.
It comes and it goes. Back when we were in that very heavy defender-sided meta many years ago, it was Bank that actually bucked the trend.
Yep.
Coastline was also on that list. Again, we're about a day or 2 removed from being able to get better information as to how teams play internationally on this current meta. Spoik got the leadoff pick on Brendo. Another small misstep by Bliss as the nade is dropped, but it doesn't get rid of the Banshee that's on the top of main stairs.
And he's out.
Citizen?
No sound cue?
No. This has actually been happening a lot today, and I do wonder if maybe there's issues with team comms, maybe there's issues with headphones, I can't tell you, but the amount of times you should have known that somebody was creeping up on you was way too high.
Those bees, they do be buzzing in your ear when they're right next to you. But the issue is, again, time for Bliss. A minute left, still the exterior rappel. I mean, yeah, now you know the guy's stuck in the elevator, but what are you going to do about it, right? Waitable is get off the rappel, get in the building, help your teammates, because they're about to probably execute here.
Oh. Oda's taking no prisoners whatsoever, showing how much damage that DMR can do. All Lion gadgets expended, so no more paralysis for these remaining defenders. They'll be free to move. There's the Malusi to lose most of her HP. Kino not better off for that engagement, looking for his third kill. Oda will deny him the opportunity to find that. 2 remaining players for M80, one of whom is cameraman, trapped inside of elevator. He frees himself, and Wettables will finally get back on the board. Bliss tying the game, as they've now won 2 attacks in a row.
Waitables got that final kill from the exact same spot he was on 30 seconds earlier, outside the building on lobby rappel. He did not move. He said, you know what, I'm gonna get my one, okay? Hatch is closed, they can't open it, he has to leave the elevator at some point, and when he does, I will strike. But a great understanding of like the map angles and positions there from Bliss. They had one person with the balls locking down the elevator hallway. Oda on the door, locking down the bomb site rotation, and the last 2 players being the planter and the person window rappel. Every single person in that round, in the 4 versus 3, was helping each other. Nobody was doing something for their own self-interest. It was always about my position covers this person, who covers the next person, who covers the last person. And it's really well done. High value positioning there from Bliss. Basement gets shown again, and Wettables once more on the fuse. Now, we saw the idea, the thinking from Wettables, what he wants to achieve is to clear out the Goyo Vulcan canisters, the fire on the side. And then because he has the shield, he can go for a push, he can go for a plant, whatever, and he brings hard destruction with the can openers. So this is like, if you're gonna clear the Goyo canisters, just play Twitch, right? Well, you don't get Heart Breach, don't get a shield. Fuse can do all of what they want in this round, but they have to apply with more items.
Swapping max!
I mean, I guess it answers the question, was the shield a mistake?
Nope.
Yeah.
Guess not.
Unless he made the mistake again, which I think is quite unlikely.
Then it's silly, right?
I think it's quite unlikely.
No, I like it. I want to see more of that plan play out. Didn't really work last time. They were too slow. Also, last time M80 defended basement, Kino swung from the server stairs aggressively to bottom square. It was like, if he just stuck it on the staircase and wasted 10, 20 more seconds, I think M80 might have won that round, actually. So Kino on Monty on the attack on server staircase, bad. Kino on ward on server staircase, last round at least, also kind of bad.
I think at this point you're just a certified Kino hater.
No, I love Kino, and I love trash talking him, honestly, because he's such a funny and cute guy. But I will say, it takes a certain kind of player to play server stairs. That may be Kino, it may not be Kino. All I know is that previous round arguably misplayed it. This time, he can redeem himself. It happens.
In terms of numbers, M80 looking like the team that we saw in Stage 1 in North America. Citizen and Spoit leading the way for the squad. But Noodle beating his numbers by quite a bit. Saw a brief redemption for Kino as well in the roles he was playing. There was some maybe unjust criticism that was directed towards Kino's way. But he really did have a good bounce back.
Yeah, no, he did.
This is not the match that he bounces back from at the moment. At least 2-7 is a score that he will probably chase for the remainder of the game.
Ah, okay, so I like this, right? Small adaptations. They saw the fuse last time. Now they play aggressive with the head to shoot the cluster charge. And this is why you don't do the same exact thing twice, because good teams will adjust and adapt. I don't think they cleared out any of the Goyo canisters this time. 50 seconds left. They have gotten server control though, so they got the first step in their plan. But those Goyo canisters, 20 seconds each, there's 3 of them, 40 seconds on the clock, time will be a problem.
And outside of maybe the mute by Citizen, a Twitch drone would have been far better at dealing with that problem.
Yeah.
So maybe a misplaced amount of trust in the fuse for Bliss. Neither teams have suffered any losses just yet. With 20 seconds left to go in the round, Kino ascending the stairs, but
he swings it again.
He knows Oda's there. It's not blue stairs, but it still doesn't work. This DMR in Oda's hands is just music to most of our ears, and two different players double up, but that gives Wedables time to almost get the diffuser off. Reduced to a single point of HP, 2 seconds to go.
Oh no.
M80's gonna swing on over, and they win it at the last second, denying Bliss the clutch as they explode out of the door almost like a clown car. Dogpiling the last of Bliss. And M80 is managing to stem the bleeding, at least for now.
That is messy. 2 players dying to a DMR, basically auto-sentry turret on the main staircase because they get impatient again. Kino wants to fight, a little bit too, a little bit too eager maybe. Nobody behind him for a quick trade-off, whatever. But also, I'm not sure if Wedables, he went off the plant himself or was forced because of an explosion. But basically, he was full HP on the fuse, then he was 1 HP, and he was pretty far into the plant animation, and he came off of it, then started shortly after. Trying to see right here what happened by his health counter. So he was basically full health. It might honestly have been the toxic gas slowly taking him away as well. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, had he stuck it there, probably gets it down. Hard to say in hindsight, of course, but way too close for comfort for M80, given how dominant they looked in the early stages. Time was on their side, utility, the bomb site control. Bliss had to fight all the worst case scenarios, and still it comes down to Bliss arguably should have won the round, but they die with 0 seconds left with a proper lack of plant cover. So maybe they get that round 5-4, but they gotta shove it up here, I think, to bring this home.
So, I know I said that I want to wait a day or two before actually talking about these stats, because up to this point, all we really had were those 2 days of play-ins.
Yeah, okay, but
if we look at the numbers,
okay,
Bank is the second most played map at the moment with 6 plays already.
Well, that's a lot.
Which is a fair amount at this point.
Yeah.
It is overwhelmingly attacker favored. Of all the rounds played on Bank, 36% have been won by the defenders.
Cover me! Reload!
We have not seen numbers that bad in a long, long time. Not since we just watched Canadian on DZ. That was a joke.
Ouch. Come on, man. And they might be winning right now in this particular round, but it's been a rough day for him. Okay?
The only other map, by the way, that's attacker favored at the moment is Cafe, but it's only been played twice. So it's very hard to get information, especially when it was only played 18 rounds. It's effectively 2 9-round matchups, or 1 12-round game and 1 6-round game. It's not a lot. So we can look at Bank and say it's been played 6 times. The only defender-favored bomb site is Teller's Archives. It's only been defended once. So that's not really something to go off either. So you have to expect Bliss to win at least 1 more round just based on those numbers alone. If they're not able to win this next round, obviously they are in serious trouble.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that will have meant that M80 has won far more defender rounds than numbers should suggest that they do.
Also puts M80 out, of course, on map and series point with that. We get that 6th round. Bliss's biggest and maybe only issue right now in the attack is they're simply just too slow. Again, M80, they're not really roaming, don't have a lot of presence, no fighting happening, and yet it's a minute left in the round. Bliss just started doing vertical play, and they lose the opening duel with so little time left. Not great.
It's not even that they lose the opening duel, it's their best player.
Fair.
Oda has been fearless in taking these engagements, but hang on! The support is there, both Brendo and Wedables helping out. Kino now taking some damage, presumably at the hands of Brendo, as he engages all the way from Tellers. This open area site's been opened up from above. But what are your next steps? Where do you go, and where are these remaining players from M80? Brendo, a 2nd kill. Kino drops. Sage with 1. Noodle hits the deck and then immediately flees. Nitro Cell goes up. The blast nowhere close to Bliss. So it's a long run back up blue stairs, where Noodle will very certainly be isolated, spotted on drone. And all falls on the shoulders of Wedables, but Brendo gets there first somehow. This Australian team showing that it doesn't matter what region their opponents come from. Brazil, no problem. Here, right now, against a team assembled from all over the world, but calling North America home.
Yeah.
Australia's keeping up. And it's that man right there who's been so impactful Wettables in game number 1 was the superstar. He had huge moments in rounds 1 and 2, and it's hard to argue that Bliss win those rounds without his contributions.
Yeah.
He just did the same thing on this round. And if you look at him, you can't see the scoreboard on your screen, but he's at the bottom right now of the standings. And yet still hugely impactful. All 6 of Wettables' kills have inarguably helped them win their rounds. And of the 5 rounds Bliss have won, to be able to say that you were one of the primary reasons for winning 3 of those, that's huge value for one player.
Absolutely. It cannot be understated. Like, it's a massive deal for the team. And I gotta say here, for M80, calling a tactical timeout as well, it is a little bit risky because Bliss, they have shown a lot of different strengths in the first 2 matches here in terms of how do they do things differently than other teams. And now you're allowing, of course, your team to talk things out, but also Bliss. And it is 5-5, you know? M80 might have had a little bit of stress, maybe nerves in that previous round. Things not playing out the way that, of course, they want to. But Bliss, they keep things very calm and collected. And again, they play this like very stress-free style of Siege where they need to be a little bit stressed sometimes, I think, because they're too slow for my liking. But it worked out. Sure, Brento hit a like ridiculous wall bang to start things off, and that really helped him speed things up. But M80, they're thinking, guys, they're low on time, just sit in corners, whatever. They kind of let go of their grip a bit, and then Bliss, they strike. M80 gotta start strong, and they gotta finish strong. That's been one of their issues.
It's also worth noting that we can't hear what the coaches hear.
That's completely true.
So it's entirely possible that M80's coaching staff are hearing things that are troubling signs in their comms. Maybe it's poor communication. Maybe it's no communication at all. Maybe the team is at each other's throats. We don't know that. But I will say, just based on those numbers that we talked about in the previous round, the expectation is that Bliss should win 1 more round at minimum.
Yeah.
That moves them on to match point, which means that the only way that M80 is victorious would be through overtime. That is a bad spot to be in. Yeah. M80 obviously understands that they're on the worst side of Bank right now. Their failure to run up the score in the first half will obviously cause issues. A 4-2 first half for M80, frankly, shouldn't have been enough. They should have been looking for a 5-1 against Bliss for this knockout blow, and are now showing some struggles as they try to defend this map.
Yeah, and then look at this, right? Tactical timeout, a little bit of a calm before the storm. Bliss, they change things up. Capital Monty all of a sudden, where they're gonna play their own game now and say, you know what? We've played guns blazing, we've tried to play it slow. Now we can speed things up by bringing the Monty into the mix, find those player positions, get the guys to fire out afterwards, and try and build off an early advantage by getting it. It's risky, getting a kill.
They had to burn. They had to burn an E1D there in order to just get 1 Banshee at the top, but you could see these 2 separate players from M80 were licking their chops. They wanted that pick. Man, we were talking about in the previous round, Wettables is the first one to strike. Now it's Kino taking serious damage over in conference room. 2-9 the score for Kino. Not where he wants to be. Cameraman not much better at 4-10. The support on M80 might be supporting utility-wise, but the kills aren't there right now.
This is risky dance for Fisher guy. If he gets the kill, great. If he dies, not great at all.
Brendo is down at the hands of Citizen. Spoit finished off by Fisho guy, though he wasn't the one to do most of that damage. It was Wettables, actually, that lit him up. Again, another big round from somebody who is gaining you a lot of value. And it's freed up Fisho guy to charge into the bomb site. Down goes Oda at the hands of Kino. That's why even on low HP, you can still strike back. Monty's in the site. Diffuser's in his hands. Fisho guy's gonna look for an objective play, but Citizen will try to stop that with Noodle down below. Final 30 seconds on a very crucial round. Wettables 3 kills. Oh, no more. Citizen reads into it. And now he'll rotate over back towards the bomb site. Fisho guy twisting in the wind, doesn't know what to do. He's relying a lot on Sage to find these last 2 players. Noodle is spotted. Sage lets him get away, and now the diffuser goes down. Where is Citizen? Sage looking towards conference door, sees the warning to Citizen, looking back over, and it's Noodle in a 1v2. Winner of this round moves to match point, and that winner is Bliss. 1 round away from a 2-0 start here in the Swiss format for the Aussies.
And again, the patience from Bliss. They were in the side with continuous fighting at different areas of the map for over 90 seconds. Half the round was fighting top of lobby staircase, on the bomb side, janitors, main staircase, and they just constantly problem solve time and time again. And I will say, it didn't seem like M80 had the communication to figure out what was actually going on. You saw Noodle go downstairs with the Mira and C4 what seemed like a random spot because they thought there was somebody planting there, but there wasn't. Fisher guy was Monty, who stood in that corner 10 seconds earlier, then walked away, and they start panicking about it. Then you have Sage, ice cold, middle of the side, waiting for Monty to make the call. I'm gonna plant in this particular spot. You need to just cover these 2 angles, and it's gonna be okay. And if you put Monty in a 1 versus 1, he should always win that unless the enemy has a C4, it's playing smoke on defense, or maybe an Ella. There are very few operators that can deal with Monty in the 1v1 that is played on a CO defense. None of those were active in that round. So as long as the bomb goes down and it's a 1v1, Bliss should be okay. They didn't need a 1v1, they had the 2v1, the power friendship.
Well, we have somewhat of a surprise result on the B stream. A reminder for everybody who's tuning in right now, or if you're watching this later on in the day, that there was a whole other stream, and there currently is a whole other stream of matches. You and I actually started over on the B stream.
That we did.
Before getting promoted. Spoilers inbound. Bleed was playing against ITB in the match on B stream, and Bleed just won over into the breach.
Okay.
We could have another APAC upset, so to speak, if Bliss pulls this out against M80. A crucial round, and now you see why that timeout might have been called. Because there were concerning signs for M80. Those signs, though, came to life. Timeout didn't seem to do all that much.
But that's the thing, right? Like, I'm not gonna say I thought it was a bad timeout. It's just that it's fine. Not a big deal. But it does present the opponents to do the same thing. Who benefits most? I think Bliss did in that scenario. Now it's 6-5. That's all hindsight. But Bliss, they're actually speeding up their pace right now. 2 minutes left in the round. Almost killed Spoit on the room clear. And they got open area control. And they got pretty much everything room cleared a whole 40 seconds faster than previously. That's a good pace to have.
Losing Spoit or Citizen, or even both, early in this round could be the dagger through the hearts of the M80 fans. Noodle's been good, but I don't know if I'm M80, if I can rely on Cameraman and Kino in the cut and thrust here. Kino will play, I would argue, the most important operator on this basement bomb site of the smoke.
Yeah.
Kino will be the cornerstone of this defense. If you can take him out or isolate him or make him unimportant, then you're in a great position to get this diffuser down and ultimately capitalize off of that. What I will say is the last 2 times that Bliss attacked this bomb site, it came down to the wire both times.
Yeah.
Bliss prevailed the first time. M80 managed to stop them the second time. 3rd time's a charm, they often say. But for both these teams, it would only be the 2nd time, so which one wins? Bliss wins, that's the game.
This year is time. There's gonna be about 25 odd seconds or so left when the last fire goes out. There's still 2 C4s in pocket, 2 toxic babes. Again, you cannot plan default. You have to go for plan B or C here. Spark is injured, that's a good start. But again, it's not about kills, it's about getting down the diffuser.
An unfortunate miss from Brendo as Kino throws out 2 toxic canisters, and well, you just can't get that plan down if you're Fisho guy. He's in the smoke, breathing in, army crawling his way towards the safety of the bomb chassis. It will come down to the wire yet again. Under 10 seconds, throwing bodies at the problems. Diffuser needs to be retrieved. Fisho guy has it. Sage drops, and they get all the kills in the final second. The Aussies stun in Manchester, and it's a flawless day for Team Bliss.
I was wrong. I was so wrong. It's not about the kill. It's about getting out of that diffuser. I was so wrong. Like 1 or 2 seconds left. Fisher guy comes off it, gets the final kill. I mean, Bliss, they are surprising in all the good ways, ensure that they can hang the top dogs. They were only a couple rounds away in the past. This time, they're actually doing it.
Bliss also there. Play the game. Why are you there?
APAC celebration. Woo! We are one. I love that.
Impressive stuff by Bliss. Oda and Sage, Brendo as well, Wettables with high impact kills, and Fisho guy picking up the rear, but ultimately doing the job that a support player is designed to do. Fisho guy knows through his role, he's not the one to get kills. He understands that, but He played his role, especially on attack, very, very well. And without that trust that Bliss had in Fisho Guy, I guarantee you at least one of those attacks falls apart. And all it takes is that single round to swing it in favor of M80.
I mean, Fisho literally won in the 1 versus 1 on the first baseman success that they had. So yeah, he single-handedly won them that round that they needed.
Oh, you can see the displeasure on the face of M80. While some teams are jovial even in their losses, knowing that there's a lot more Siege to be played here. M80 are extremely disappointed with that result. And again, we don't have any access to what they say. But given the long faces, this is a match that I can guarantee you M80 thought, we're gonna win this. And they didn't. And maybe that's why that timeout was called when it did. It didn't stop the bleeding though. We have an interview ready with Oda as Team Bliss will celebrate their 2-0 start to today.
We do have Oda here ready for the interview. Thank you so much for joining me. A 2-0 start here on phase 2 of the major against no other than M80, a team that a lot of people were expecting great things of today. I just want to start off with the celebration that you guys had because you just won. Bleed came over to hug you. Dev came over to hug you. Everybody was just having the time of their lives. Talk us through the emotions that you're feeling right now.
From being from OS and just from APAC in general, getting a win against these big teams means a lot to us. So, when the boys come over and celebrate, it's APAC, we're a family. So, yeah, we just get excited together, really, when we're both winning. So, it feels good.
When you look at it from winning today against M80, what were the expectations coming into this? Because you said it yourself, it's one of the bigger teams. It's a team that, to an extent, has a target on their back. They've been doing really well regionally. So what were your expectations today?
Well, when we come to these events, we do a boot camp before, and, it's not always good. We do get, farmed a little bit in practice, but it's different on main stage. There's always, pressure. So, being an underdog is pretty good because all these other teams put pressure against us. So we just play our own game, really, and just try to win. And I feel like this event, we've put in the work and we're just here to play now,
You're talking about there being a difference between the main stage and also just pracs and how you're quote-unquote getting farmed in those. What has been that biggest difference for you here? Because the fact that you've played a Brazilian team and won, you've now played an NA team and won, the confidence and just in general must be great.
Yeah. So when we play on stage, the main difference is just our energy, I guess. We're more locked in and focused. So a lot of those rounds just came down to one or two people just eye-gelling and just shot calling in the big moments, which is the execute phases or just rotating when something's not working. So yeah, it's just the comms really and just the team play was working really well here. We're in practice, it's not as serious and as locked in, I guess. So yeah, it's just different on game day.
Just before we throw it to break, really quickly, a short message to those at home who are celebrating as well from APAC.
Thanks to all the Aussies, staying up, everyone from APAC. We love the support. It really motivates us to keep going. And yeah, we'll see you at the stage.
All right, thank you so much for the interview. I appreciate it. Congratulations again on the win. We'll see you around. We're going to be back straight after the break with a longer interview with Wettable, so make sure you stick around for that. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you shortly.